Hello, creative friends. I have an order here from Soe Soe Australia. It is probably my largest order to date because I really wanted to sample a few different inks. And the reason why I placed this order was because I fell in love with the dominant industry Endless Summer Hydrangea fountain pen ink. It is just gorgeous. And I don't know if I have the swatch over here anymore, but oh, it's right here. Like, this was just such a beauty, and I don't think it picks up the shimmer in here. No, that you don't even see the shimmer in here anymore because this is watercolor paper, but it is a beautiful, beautiful ink. And I'm gonna actually try to pull over my swatch binder wherever I have it. Okay, let me just show you quickly why I even got this in the first place. So let's go to my purples. So here is Dominant Industry Summer, Endless Summer Hydrangeas. And the color, it's so pretty. It's perfect for painting. It's so hard to pick up the shimmer in the camera, but it's gorgeous. It's probably, I think it's still legible when you write with it, but definitely using it for painting, and I think it's just gonna be so beautiful for florals. Anyway, so that was the whole reason why I ordered from there, and I couldn't just place an order because the shipping is $25. I don't know if it's by weight, but I think I've ordered up to, I don't know, like 10 items or something, and it was still $25. So to make the most of the shipping, I needed to add things on here to make the most of it. Otherwise, I'm paying a crazy amount for one bottle of ink. So anyways, that's where we're at. So let's unbox this and see what I ordered, because sometimes you order things and you literally forget what you ordered, which probably is a first world problem. But let's open this and you can kind of see how well Soe Soe packages their items. I really think out of all the places I have ordered inks from, they do the best packaging by far. So we'll just see if I can get this open here. Okay, and I just want to say I always cringe at this part because, and I know it's just for shipping and whatnot, but they always have to declare like what's in the package, and this in Australian dollars is $36 Australian dollars. I actually don't know what that is in Canadian. I'll have to figure out, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's kind of hurtful because I paid so much more than that, but I also haven't converted it, so maybe that is equivalent. Anyways, okay, I just want to keep hiding my address here without, goodness, what is going on here? Okay, we're in business. All right. Okay, so this is how it always comes in. It's so girly. I just love it. It comes in pink tissue wrapping paper with a beautiful Soe Soe sticker. This is their logo. And I always, it's just my thing. I always try to preserve, and I always end up ripping it, but I try to preserve the sticker as best I can because then I place it into my journal. But what I'll probably do today, if I can salvage this, come on. Yeah. What I'll probably do with this is I'll put it on my new ink day page when I swatch these inks. So they always include a business card, and then they include a little swatch of a sample or an ink that's in their collection or in their inventory, and then they write a little thank you message, which I think is so sweet. And this is also a really pretty color, Sailor Mermaid Cat. Stop trying to sell me things, so-and-so. Excuse me. Okay, so, ta-da! This is what I have. So I ordered Endless Summer Hydrangeas. If you haven't tried this ink, you must. It is a Soe Soe exclusive, and it is a Pearl series. What I love about it is the shimmer is so subtle. Oh, I can see the shimmer on my watercolor swatch now here, but only in like certain lighting. Let me see if I can get it to kind of glimmer. I don't know if it picks up. Anyways, it's so pretty. The shimmer is so fine, but so delicate. And then I just love the colors that pull out of it. So super, super thrilled with that. So that's that one. And then the other, so I had ordered this brand that I've never used. I don't believe, I think it's called, or maybe I got samples from a friend. I think it's called Vinta. Yeah, Vinta. And they had this ink. Oh, I can't remember what the ink is called now, but it was a really pretty, sort of similar to the same kind of like color family. So pretty, but they were out of stock. I ordered it, it went through, and then they came back and said it was out of stock. So I had to get a different bottle to replace it. And so I looked at, this was actually a swatch. So on the business card of one of my last orders, they had actually swatched Kobe, this Himia Jisai. I believe it also means hydrangeas. Maybe there's a theme, I don't know. But this purple is so beautiful, and I don't think I have the business card handy here to show you, but I will maybe drop it in the screen so you can see somewhere in the screen. But it is a beautiful, beautiful ink as well. Also legible and also probably great to paint with. And I just love these colors that they're kind of my jam. And then I have, let's see what we've got here. You know, I'm going to open all these off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, so before I open these other samples, so the other bottle that I received was, let me just find my little receipt here. This is the Collection Traced. Oh, that's so cute. It says beauty can be traced on the bottle. I don't know if you can see that. Collection Traced Twilight Violet. that is a tongue twister. This one, and you're gonna laugh. I'm laughing myself ready. It is, surprise, like a purple, blue, pinky hue. I swear these are all different, okay? So when we swatch them, you will see. But that is another bottle that I received, or that I ordered. And then I ordered, this one is Ink Institute Dalu Palringi. Inside it looks blue. Watch, it's gonna be purple. You know, I like what I like, I guess. And then the last three are these well-packaged 2 milliliter samples. I would love to actually know how they package this, because I would love to be able to package my ink samples for my pen pals this way, because this just creates some security that they're not going to leak all over the place. Although I have not had that issue that I've heard of from my pen pals, but I know it is a possibility. Anyways, so the ones that I received, or that I ordered, are the Fan Yan Tan Kaiwei. I think it's like a movie kind of color. There's obviously a purple theme here. Dominant Industry Soleil Couchon Etratat. My French is horrible. I don't even speak French. I took it in like grade school. Did not do well with it, but I think it's a blue. Could be wrong. And then this last one, I really wanted the 5 ml, but they didn't have it, or the bottle, and so I ordered the 2 milliliter one, and this is the Dream Ink Rose in the Yard. It's beautiful, at least the swatches that I've seen on the website. And so, you know, beggars can't be choosers, so I went with the 2 ml, and hopefully, you know, if I love it so much, they will restock it, and we will go from there. Although I am really seriously limiting myself on inks now, because I have more than enough, and I've had more than enough for a while. So we're gonna use what we have, and you know, maybe make some swap friends and swap inks or something like that. I have a good collection now to, you know, even blend some of my inks and maybe make my own inks. I have no idea. Anyways, that's what we've got. So I will just put all that away. Okay, so let's swatch these inks out. So this is what I call my ink inventory. These stamps are from Amazon. I love them. They are silicone clear stamps from Global Land. Maybe that's misspelling, I don't know, but they are great. I love them. Versatile. Anyways, I made a little front page, if you will, of it, so that I know that this is my little ink inventory. And this book is really just to showcase and keep a log of all the inks, whether I receive them as samples or bottles. And I don't do anything other than putting the swatch down. That's it. I don't know whether it's dry or wet or the color. I have a whole other spreadsheet, because I love spreadsheets, that kind of tracks all that for me, because I use that with pen friends to share with them, so they know what inks I have when we're doing swaps and stuff. So anyways, what I do use is I did carve out my own stamp. So this is, you can't see it here very well, but I carved out on the speedball rubbers, I think they're what they're called. anyways, I drew it out and then I carved it out and I made my own stamp because I wanted a swatch type looking stamp. And then I just used VersaFine to stamp the image onto the Tomoe River paper and then do my swatches that way. So this is my ink inventory, and this binder's off Amazon as well. And it comes with actually like a bunch of like papers in the back. They are fountain pen friendly. I wouldn't say they're like as great as Tomoe River paper, but it definitely holds up. But I've only used one ink on it to date. So then what I do too is when I get new inks, I will swatch them in here. Like I'll do my new ink days and I'll swatch them. And then what I'll do is then I put them into their color families. To date, I don't have anything dividing the color families. So if you have ideas, you know, do I make my own little tabs? Do I go buy tabs? I have no idea. How should I separate the families, the color families? So literally just go red. I think I have red, orange. You know what? Let's just go through it. I'll just fast forward over here. So we have the reds, and then it goes to like oranges and yellows, greens, and then greens and blues were kind of hard because there's some colors that are more teal, like, you know, green leaning or blue leaning teal. So then I had to create a teal page. And then I have blues. And then I believe I have a page for teals, which is this one, I believe. Yes, this is my teal page. So again, it's how I go, I guess, how I kind of do it, because sometimes my eyes feel like certain colors in the blue family or teals, is I really just go by the online description of the ink. And so that's sort of the color family I would place it in, and that's how I log it in my spreadsheet, my other ink inventory, or what I call my ink compendium. Not that I need all these fancy names, but I have them. And then it goes to purples, and then pinks, and then browns, and then we have black, and then we have grays. So that's sort of how I log it. And then I use Tomoe River paper because I had another swatch book I was doing, and it was like, I don't know why I went through so much work, but I did. Anyways, it's not near me right now, but I would swatch the colors on like a pica paper and, you know, extra hemlock and oak paper that I had, Tomoe River paper, and I believe I swatched it on my Rhodia paper. It's just so I could see like the variations of the ink on those different types of paper. And what I found was I actually prefer Tomoe River paper. Like, surprise, surprise. There is a reason why it's a premium and a sought after paper for notebooks and whatnot when you're using fountain pens. And I just felt like it showed off like comparably across all of the different, you know, inks I've used and all the different papers. TRP just showed off the properties the best. And so, you know, that's not necessarily what I'll use, you know, when I paint or when I write in journals and stuff. At least that will show me the best properties of that ink. So that's what I opted to use for this little ink inventory. So in here, what I do in the first few pages, again, anytime I get new inks, whether it's from pen friends or swaps, or whether it's purchasing new inks, I usually will just log it in here as sort of doing like a kind of like a swatch, and let's see what these inks look like. And then I will log them into their respective color families. And so that's what we're going to do today. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inks, and I don't think it's going to fit on here. And I prefer to kind of keep them all together, so I'll probably just start a new page. So let's just grab a new TRP page back here. And I'll just pull it off to the side. This binder, I mean. And then I'll use I usually like to have a little base underneath. Not that the ink goes through the paper by any means, but it just kind of helps give me like a more solid surface other than the solid surface it's already on. I don't know, that did not make sense. Anyways, let's just swatch and then we will go from there. So let's swatch. We'll do Endless Summer Hydrangeas first from Dominant Industry. This one is because I already have a sample of it from the last order. This is the sample here, and you can see, like, look at the beautiful shimmer. I don't know if it's picking it up. Oh, it's just stunning. So let's do it. And I guess to swatch, we obviously, you know that I have my stamp and my, I don't need the stamp block. I have my stamp and my stamp pad. I use the Dominant Industry muddler stick. It has like a little point so I can write with it too, but I prefer not to use this really because I find the stick is so short that it doesn't, like, it literally just like hangs in here, and I don't like it. I don't like the feeling of it. So I typically mostly use it just for swatching. If the vials are too small, so sometimes for pen pals, or pen friends or pen swaps or ink swaps, I get 2 milliliter vials, and those vials are way too small for this little Dominant Industry, the head of this, to kind of fit into. So then I'll just use I have these glass cocktail stir sticks, and this one works just great. And honestly, like, if you're just starting out like me, like I sourced, like I think I went on our community swap and I just asked for, did a call out for like, hey, I'm looking for, you know, cocktail sticks you're not using anymore. I'm just literally looking to use them to like swab inks, which sounds funny probably to people that are like, what do you need cocktail sticks for? Anyways, fantastic way of getting supplies without having to, you know, buy branded like tool specific tools, if that makes sense. Anyways, there's always ways to do things without having to spend a whole bunch of money, is my point, until you dive into this hobby like deep, like me. Okay, so let's just start with, I'm just gonna write out the how I always start it, which is just naming the page here and then dating it. Do not judge my handwriting. I am trying to get better at lettering. It is a hard job, okay? It's all about like pressure, and obviously it seems like I'm like heavy-handed because I think just getting that line variation that you want when you're lettering is the hardest part, I find. Oh my goodness, and I wrote ink press. This is why I can't talk when I do this. It's not ink press, it's ink day. Okay, we're just gonna like embrace the error. Like, why? Why is this me? I don't know. Okay, so today is the 15th, so I'll just use this little handy. I don't even know what I bought this for, but I have this little printy dater. It goes all the way up to like, goodness, 2020. Oh, okay, it's not that. 2028. So a few more years, and then I'll probably have to actually, no, this one has, sorry, I'm pretty sure, so it goes up to 2028 as a templated stamp, but there is a 20 and then just blank underneath it so you can fill it in. I just don't know where it is. I'm pretty sure it's in here somewhere. Anyways, so that's handy for printing higher than 2028. Okay, anyways, so I'm just gonna stamp the stamp here. So today's the 15th is when we received it. Just my way of logging it. You don't need to do that, obviously. And we'll just start swatching. So my tools that I use, again, like the Dominant Industry muddle stick or muddler stick. And then I really have enjoyed writing with stub nibs, like my favorite, because I feel like it controls my writing. It gives me more uniform writing. And it also, the nib itself, just because it's broader or wider, it like shows off the ink properties so much better than with a fine or extra fine tip. So medium and stub are typically my preferred nibs. Anywho, okay, that's basically the tools I have. That's all I use. So we're just gonna do this. I'm just gonna get that off here. And what I do is I usually dip this in here and then just swatch it out. I like to get some bigger drops because that's where sort of you'll see like shading or like colors or anything like that, which is nice. And then usually, because I find glitter, any sort of ink with glitter settles fairly quickly, I usually have to cap it and give it another little shake. And I know you're not supposed to shake ink like this. I do. You're supposed to just gently agitate it, but clearly I don't do that. Okay, so this one, I'm not going to talk because I will probably mess this up. Look at all the shading that's already coming out. It is amazing. I'm going to try to see if I can open this box here. So you can see how pretty the ink is. Oh, how adorable. It comes in a little felt bag. Oh my goodness, and has a little baby pipette. That is so cute. Oh my goodness, look at this. Ugh, I love it. And it's like a little, the bottle's like a little teardrop. I don't know if it's tippy or not. I've never owned a Dominant Industry bottle of ink before. I've only ever owned the log books that they have. But here is the bottle. Is it not stunning? Like, look at that shimmer. Oh my goodness. Yeah, love. And I love that it has a little pouch, but I don't really know, like, I'll use the pouch for something else. You can guarantee that. But anyways, I love that it has the dropper and stuff with it. What amazing packaging. So there's that. Okay. I'm just going to speed through the next little bits here without talking. I don't know. I can't guarantee that I won't talk, but I will try not to. Okay, our next up is Rose in the Yard Dream Ink. This is that one that I was talking about. Like, look at, it looks rainbowy in the glitter. Whew. Don't know if that picks up. Stunning. Ooh, it's like a pinky. I could have been a little more generous there. Feels very multi-chromatic, but okay, so this is Dream Ink. Rose in the Yard. Okay, our next up is this Ink Institute Dalu pairing. I don't believe this one has any shimmer in it. And it is sort of like a tealy kind of color, it looks like. Or blue-green. The next up we have is Fan Yan Tan Kai Wei. And it definitely is a movie color. I find when I swatch, if you, instead of dragging the ink through the whole way, if you just sort of lift your, whatever your swatch tool is at certain points and get those little pools going, that's where it's going to show you some of the other properties of the ink, because it's going to kind of pool and you'll see the different variations in any sort of edging and whatnot. So that's what I found in my little swatch journey here. Okay, so this is Fan Yan Tan. And that's what I like about Soe Soe is that you can actually try out a bunch of inks that are harder to find for me anyways, in Canada, where I am. And a lot of them are like Japanese or Korean or like Chinese brands. And so you can sample them and see what you like. And I do find that a lot of these brands tend to be they're amazing for shading. And just the tones and stuff, they're just great ink. So they know what they're doing. Our next one is a Dominant Industry Soleil Couchant Etretat. I'm totally saying that wrong, I know, but at least I can pretend that I know how it sounds. And this is definitely like a bluey color. Looks similar to the Delu Palaringi. I should actually translate this to see like what it means. Like, is it's Soleil is sun. I don't know what couchant etretat means, but maybe it's like sun. No, I can't even take an educated guess, so I'm not going to. Okay, the next one, we have two more. The next one is this collection traced Twilight Violet. And it says on here it's a gradient ink sort of shading going on. And again, these tones look very, very similar to that of Dominant Industry Endless Summer Hydrangeas. So I'm excited for this one. So it's definitely darker than the Endless Summer Hydrangeas, the color. The base, I believe, for Endless Summer Hydrangeas is more like a periwinkle blue. This one's more like a violet, I find, with no shimmer. So very similar in colors. Yeah, very similar. You can already see the shading coming out. And I probably have other inks similar to this too. So clearly I have a gravitational pull towards this sort of hue in the inks. And then the last we have is the Kobe ink. This is the Himejisai, which I believe translates hydrangeas. So, I mean, we're coming to summer, so maybe that's why I'm feeling the whole hydrangea love. But this bottle looks like this. It's a beautiful little bottle. The purple looks beautiful in it. So it's more like a lavender, I believe, purple. But I haven't been disappointed with any Kobe inks that I've seen. And this one just spoke to me. Look how beautiful it is. So we'll just try this guy. Okay, Dominant, how do I spell this? Dominant Kobe. All right, and that's the ink for today, which is plenty, but very similar. Like the colors, they all vibe really well together. I can see this in a painting that I'll probably use eventually, but let's let this dry and then come back to it. So while we let this dry, I'm just gonna off camera ink the rest of these colors into the color families in my inventory, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. These have dried. So this is what they look like in here on the paper. They are all in this, like they all go really well together. I feel like these are gonna be fantastic for, you know, me painting florals, and just even using them in my journals. I feel like the writing, they're all very legible, which I really like. They're not too light, but look how beautiful the shading is in all of these. So the hydrangeas, like again, you can't pick up the shimmer. I have to pull it off screen for a second. Yeah, the shimmer is so fine and it's so hard to pick up on screen. And then we have the Dream Ink Rose in the Yard. This one you can pick up the shimmer. I don't know why it's so hard to pick up the shimmer in the Dominant Industry one, but it is, you have to see it in person. The Ink Institute de Lupel Ringy, beautiful, beautiful. Like once it kind of dries, the pinks and kind of pop out. It starts off sort of like a blue-green, and then these colors just start to pop out. Just beautiful. And I love the writing sample. It kind of looks smoky to me. This Kaiwei color is beautiful. It's like a mauvey, I don't know, I really love this color. It looks really, really nice. I imagine like if I mix some sparkle in there, like some shimmer, what that would look like. I think that would be also ultimately beautiful. The Dominant Industry, still didn't look up what Soleil Couchant means, but I love saying it. That also is beautiful. It's very similar to the Ink Institute one actually, but a bit darker and a little more on the green side, I think. And then we have the Collection Trace. This is a beautiful purple. Again, these all look very similar, these three, but different. Same, but different. So there's that. And then there's the Kobe ink, and I really, really love this color. It sort of has like, it starts off like lavendery and has pink undertones. So beautiful. Anyway, so that's my ink day for today. I really love these inks. I hope you did too. Maybe it helped you, you know, decide some of the samples for yourself. I don't know, but do share if any of them, if you have some or if you recommend other ones that are similar to this family. Always happy to learn more and hear more from you. Anyways, thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.